swear there's flipping hairs everywhere today. I literally have a dog hair up my nose, I know it. What the heck? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video, which is going to be a highly requested episode of You Do Not Need That, where I'm going to be talking you out of all of these very tempting new and upcoming makeup releases. So if you are on a no buy, if you are on a low buy, if you're trying to cut back on makeup spending for whatever reason and avoid the FOMO of all of this new makeup being thrown in your face, then this video is for you. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up, let's have a look at this new HyGlam concealer from Natasha Denona. Now there's a few reasons why you absolutely do not need that. Number one, first and foremost, we already know this one. It's permanent. It's a permanent concealer. So absolutely, this is not going on a credit card. Absolutely, you're not going to put this on a Klarna. Why would you, when you can just wait for payday, wait for a sale, wait until you've used up the other 25 concealers you already own that are probably very, very similar and maybe even better than this one. There's no rush here. It's going to be around. It's going to be there for as long as you want to wait for. It's definitely sensible to wait for reviews before you spend your money on this concealer. And I'll tell you why. One, you might pick up the wrong shade if you don't watch a lot of reviews first. If you don't go in store, make sure that you've got your correct shade. Two, it might be awful, okay? I will tell you, the last concealer from Natasha Denona was the worst I ever tried in my entire human life. And it wasn't even close, okay? So we can't trust that this is going to be exceptional. I hope it's going to be better than the last one, but that remains to be seen. So I would 100% wait for lots of reviews. Wait for lots of reviews, wait for a sale, use up your Charlotte Tilbury, your Dior, your Huda Beauty, your Pat McGrath concealer that you've probably already got in your drawers already. Maybe you've got 10 or 15 concealers, use those up, wait for reviews, and if every person is saying it's the most amazing concealer they've ever tried, and it's definitely head and shoulders above all of those that you already own, wait for a sale and for sure then you can pick it up. And I will support you. Next, let's talk about this new Hourglass trio, this little palette, this diffused rose ambient lighting edit. Now, I already reviewed this one and I'm not, as usual, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you it's a beautiful palette and I liked it and I liked the powders inside and I thought it was beautiful. I'm not going to tell you it's awful when that clearly isn't the case. But what I will tell you is if you've ever purchased one of these Hourglass trios or one of the 6 pans before, this will look essentially the exact same on your cheeks, okay? Whether you've got the tiger palette, if you have the elephant palette, if you have the butterfly palette, if you have the sculpture palette, if you have the unlocked palette, if you have the ones that looked like they had coffee spilled on them, I feel like any of those will look ultimately pretty much the same on your cheeks. You've probably already got the diffused light powder. That's number one. You've probably already got a blush that's almost exactly the same as that and a highlight on the cheeks. It's all going to look the same. Okay, so if you already have those, use those up, pull them out your drawers. The one that's 5 years old that is still sitting there, barely used, barely touched, maybe give that one a go instead of picking up yet another one. That's basically the same, you know. Suits you, sir. Let's talk about this Chantecaille collection. This is a tough one. Okay, I get it. I looked at this, the packaging, the embossing, the packaging, I get it. It's glorious, okay? It looks like a whole universe. It's glorious, it's beautiful. I absolutely understand. This is really luring us in with all of the tricks, the stunning package, the glorious photos, that embossing. It's giving us summer bronze goddess. I'm gonna buy this whole collection just to stare at it because it's so gorgeous. But we are pros here. We're going to look beyond the packaging. We're going to look beyond the embossing and we're going to see a bronzer and a highlighter. That's all it is. It's a bronzer, a very light bronzer, and I'd hazard a guess that if you are richer, deeper, darker skin than maybe NC30, it's going to be useless for you. The highlighter, they make gorgeous highlighters, Chantecaille, but if you have one, again, you kind of have them all. And is this highlighter genuinely, do you think, going to be wildly different on the skin than the other 46 highlighters you already own? Is it going to be massively different, do we think, or does it just have a prettier pink packaging? Now, the bronzer is apparently an existing bronzer. It says on their website that this is their most popular best-selling bronzer. So if you didn't want that in their regular packaging, you're falling for the packaging trick, aren't you? You're thinking this one looks way better because of the blue planety packaging, aren't you? You're thinking that. What you could do is just go outside at night, get some binoculars, have a look at the actual universe while holding an average bronzer, and you've got the same effect. Now the lip cheeks, again, these look like gorgeous, glorious colours, but these lip cheeks are very, very sheer, very, very soft and subtle and sheer and barely their colour. So again, if you have a couple of these, you've probably already got what is going to look the same as this on the lips. If you've got, you know, the Charlotte Tilbury Superstar lips, if you've got any type of these balmy lip formulas, Chanel make lovely ones, NARS make lovely ones, there are lots of these, and we've had lots of these from Chantecaille, and they give me nothing on the lips, very barely there. So although they look like lovely summer, or the packaging it's calling me, on the lips, they aren't going to blow you away, okay? They're just going to be very sheer, subtle, soft, balmy lipstick like you've got 100 more of already, okay? And these products are so expensive. $84 for a highlighter, $84 for a bronzer, $52 for a tinted lip balm. These are mega prices. If you bought 2 of these products, you could have got a Pat McGrath mothership. Do you like it that much? Do you? I'm not sure that you do. I think you've been sucked in by the packaging, okay? Next up, let's talk about the Pat McGrath bronzers. If, like me and the rest of the world, you've been waiting for Pat McGrath bronzers for 5 years, count them. That's how long it's been. I understand wanting to run out and buy 4 shades of this bronzer, like straight away off the bat, but hold your flipping horses. Hold them. Hold them. Because again, these are nice bronzers. They're permanent bronzers. They're nice bronzers. Are they insanely different or better than the bronzers you already own? Do you have the Gucci bronzer? Do you have the Dior bronzer? Do you have the Victoria Beckham Beauty bronzer? Do you have a Tom Ford bronzer? Do you have 46 other bronzers? Did you buy the Hermes bronzers? I mean, here's the thing. They are very, very similar. All of these bronzers, they're a bronzer. You know, they're a bronzer. They aren't going to change your life and take you out for dinner. They aren't going to pay off all your debt and get you a new job. They're a bronzer. All right, that's all it is at the end of the day. It's a light, subtle kiss of bronziness, which again, all of the other bronzers you already bought also do that. If I'm wrong and these are the greatest bronzers in the history of the universe and they are going to gravely change your circumstances, and I'm incorrect about that, Pat McGrath does a 30% off sale about 65 times a year. So anyone paying full price for Pat McGrath, stop it. You do not need to do that, okay? Wait for swatches, wait for reviews, check at least that you're getting the right colour and get one. Pick one. Don't buy 4 like a mad person. Okay, that's what I'm here for. That's what I spend my money on, swatches, so you can choose your favourite one. I only like one of the 3 that I purchased for review purposes, okay? So don't you buy 3 and only like one of the 3. Let me do that, that's my job. I'm here to take one for the team. Next up, let's talk about this Charlotte Tilbury makeup bag. If you know me, you know I am the biggest Charlotte Tilbury makeup fan. I love the brand. I love 99.9% of all of the products I've ever tried from that brand. It's my favourite. It gets me. It tickles my pickle. It's my kind of brand. We just go together like shamalama-lama, a rinky-dink, a donk. But even I didn't buy this, and you know why? I don't use a makeup bag. I have a dressing table with drawers and that's where I store my makeup. The only time I ever use a makeup case or a makeup bag is when I travel. And then I want one that's hard. I want a hard case, because if I'm going on a plane, or like my husband is a dropper, okay? He's a dropper. He's a incredible, wonderful man, but he drops everything he ever picks up. And so if he carries my bag and he drops it, which is highly likely because it happens every time, I want a hard case surrounding that makeup, okay? If it's going on a plane, if it's going in hold, I want a hard... I've seen those videos of the baggage handlers hoofing your luggage up the plane as if it's a sack of potatoes or a football or something, with all of my treasured makeup goods in there. Absolutely not. I want a hard case. This is like a soft squidgy, some kind of accordion looking thing. I feel like you're going to fit very little in there at the end of the day without it getting very bulky, and then it's all squidgy and soft and everything's going to get smushed up and maybe smashed. Please, no. No, I don't think you should buy this, okay? Even I'm saying that as the biggest Charlotte Tilbury fan. I think there are better makeup bags out there that will protect your treasure much better than this one. Next up, let's talk about this limited edition bronzer from Guerlain. This is the Guerlain Terracotta Flower Blossom. I'm not being funny. They've thrown every trick in the book at this. They've even put a real life bee in this photo. That's right, they're throwing nature just right down our faces. They've got flowers, the beautiful picture with the real flowers in the background. I'm pretty sure that's probably like a Canva preset. This is definitely sucking us in with the sheer beauty of its appearance. But here is the thing. I bought one of these a few years ago. They bring these out every year. Every year you'll notice if you look on the retailers' websites, they review terribly, okay? They've never yet released one of these that's performed incredibly well. One, again, if you are deeper than an NC25, it's not going to show up on you. They're always very, very light. They're always really lacking pigment. The one that I purchased literally wasn't a bronzer. I feel like it was false advertising. You couldn't see it. It couldn't see it whatsoever on my skin, no matter if I used half of the compact. You couldn't see it, had no colour, and it went hard pan in about 26 seconds after I received it. It was completely useless. The actual Guerlain permanent bronzers are far better than these. Many bronzers are far better than these. And ultimately, if you did love it and really got a lot of use out of it and actually did show up on you, all of that prettiness and the flowers in the little bee, that's all gone in about 6 weeks, I'd say. So again, just buy the permanent one if you really, really wanted the Guerlain Terracotta bronzer. The original, the permanent ones are way better than this, and wait for sale. This is just a bronzer at the end of the day, and it's probably not a very good one. They've just whacked a bee on it to like make us lure us in because it's like a cute bee. But actually, it looks more like a wasp, and I hate those. Next up, from Huda Beauty, we have these lip blushes, which are a lip and cheek stain. Now these definitely are not for me, okay? This is a very, very easy pass for me. I don't like lip stains. We spoke about this with the Rare Beauty tinted lip oils that were not lip oils. They were in fact lip stains. They tricked me and I couldn't get it off my lips for 6 months. And I knew then in that moment, lip stains, they're just not for me. When I remove a lip product, I want it to be gone. It's because I want to change it up. I don't want it there, impenetrable. I don't want to be scrubbing 6 layers of lip skin off in order to remove a lipstick. That's just not for me. I know some people love them and I support you, but they're just not for me. A cheek stain. So now, not only can I not get this stuff off my lips, now it's on my cheeks as well. How's that gonna work? If you're not putting it on bare skin, how is it gonna stain me if it's on top of foundation and everything? I don't know how these are going to work, but I would highly suggest if you already own like the Rare Beauty liquid blushes and maybe the Lisa Eldridge one, the NARS liquid blushes are beautiful. Cream blushes, you're that kind of person that you love a good cream cheeky product. I love it. I'm supporting of that. But these are going to stain everything. They're going to get on your carpet. They're going to stain the top probably of your vanity as well. They're going to get on your fingers. How are you going to apply these if they're a stain? Stain your brushes, stain your fingers if you're dabbing it in. No one wants that, okay? We're better off well out of this. Next up, let's talk about this Illuminateur de Beaute liquid highlighter. I've absolutely smashed that. From Gucci. Now, do you particularly need a test tube of highlighter? Is my first question. This is like a pipette of highlighter. For £37, you get 12 mils. That's like a third of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood. I hazard to say would be a lot easier with the doe foot than the science experiment we've got going on with this packaging. I don't know what's going on here with this packaging. The pipette, how are we using that? How are we applying? Are we going to drizzle it there, you know, like that? Are we going to squeeze it out on a I don't know what we were thinking with the test tube packaging, but I don't love it. But it also was an excuse to give us a really stingy amount. That's my guess. Now, they also say in the description that we don't have to worry about finding the perfect shade, because this one is universal. It's a universal shade. I wonder, how many times has that worked out? How many times have you purchased a universal shade? For example, the Chanel cream bronzer that was in a universal shade initially that would only work on you if you were like an NC25 or lighter. That wasn't so universal. I've never really met a makeup product, unless it's like a primer or maybe a setting spray, that was universal. There's not a thing. If it's got a colour to it, it can't be universal, really, can it? But this also, everything about this is screaming. It's a very subtle, soft, barely there glow, yet it's only 12 mils. So I don't think it's worth the money, is what I'm saying to you. I think better to get the Hollywood Flawless filter that comes in a whole gamut of shades for the same sort of price, but you get 3 times as much, and you get a nice handy doe foot that makes it easier to apply than pipetting it onto your cheeks. I mean, that's just my thoughts on the matter. Next up, Hermes came out with some new blushes, a new blush formula in 3, I believe, shades, a more luminous finish than their previous sort of, I think they were called like a luminous matte blush, the previous ones. This is like a more glowy formula. What I'll say is that the original formula of Hermes blushes, it's Hermes, they're very, very expensive. That's number one. The packaging was, didn't feel luxurious. It was too light, flimsy, very thin, felt a bit stingy. You know, enough fragrance to kill a horse, enough fragrance to induce a migraine, and a very average formula and shades. All, yeah, sure, fine. They were blushes, okay? They gave us a hint of colour to the cheek while we tried to breathe through our mouths. But they weren't anything special, and I don't think these will be anything different. I feel if you have the RMS glowy blushes, some NARS glowy blushes, some Laura Mercier glowy blushes, if you have the Rare Beauty cream blushes, if you have literally any other slightly luminous blush, I don't think we haven't seen these colours before. That's what I'm saying. I think these are going to be very average, but for a much higher than average price tag. We can absolutely live without these, I promise you. We can do it together. And finally, these Armani blushes. I was so excited for these and so looking forward to this release, because Armani haven't really released anything that's excited me for a very long time, and I thought this was it. A luminous silk glow blush. All of those words, they spoke to me, okay? It lured me in. The reality of these blushes though, I picked up a couple of these when they first launched. One, not all of them, in fact, literally only one of all of the shades that I have seen really has like a lot of luminosity and glow to it. The rest are basically matte blushes that are quite powdery, not that exciting colour-wise, certainly nothing I don't already have in my drawers, and a really tiny amount for quite a hefty price tag. I felt a little shortchanged on these blushes. I'm not going to lie to you. They are nice, again, average blushes, but you're getting like half of what you typically get in a blush for a pretty expensive price point, £39, and half the size of Laura Mercier, NARS, MAC, etc. blush, and definitely no better. In fact, definitely not as good as those formulas. Laura Mercier NARS blushes, hands down over these. Much more beautiful, glowy, cheeky blushes. Much more colours, shades to choose from. Twice the amount of product, okay? These were disappointing for me. I don't want that for you, okay? I don't want you to spend your hard-earned money and be disappointed, underwhelmed, or feel shortchanged. So don't, okay? It's that simple. Just don't do it. Don't make me come down there and smack it out your hand, because I will do it. Okay, and there you have it. That is hopefully you all talked out of buying any of these products that you don't really want or need in your life. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.